Interesting facts about classification is that Aristotle came up with the first biological classification system. He only had two main groups though. He had plants and animals. It wasn't until Carolus Linnaeus developed our modern day classification system in the late 1700s. Classification is grouping of objects based on similarities. Taxon is any group of organisms, and a taxonomy is a branch of biology that groups and names organisms based on their characteristic and evolutionary history. So a taxa can be ranked from or categorized from most to least specific. The most specific is species, a group of organisms that can be interbreed and produce fertile offspring in nature. In other words, their offsprings can make more offsprings. A genus is the larger taxon of biological classification after species. Family is taxon of different genera. Order is taxon of similar families. Class is taxon of similar order. Phylum is taxon of similar classes. Kingdom is taxon of similar phylum and divisions. There are a total of 6 kingdoms. And finally, your domain contains one or more kingdoms. These domains are eukaryotes, archaea, and bacteria. Again, you're going from most to least specific. Then you would say species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, kingdom, and domain. If you were going the other way around, it would be domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. So as you go from kingdom down to species, it gets more and more specific, and the characteristics are more defined, whereas at the top of the taxon, where kingdom phylums are, their characteristics can be very broad. In a gene pool, members of the species can interbreed and produce fertile offsprings. This means that these species share the same gene pool. And a gene pool is all of the alleles of all individuals in a population. The gene pool means that different species do not exchange genes by interbreeding. Different species that do interbreed often produce sterile or less vital offsprings. For example, if you breed a horse and a donkey together, you will get a mule, but that mule cannot mate with another mule to produce more mules. If you mate a lion and a tiger together, you will produce a liger, but this liger cannot mate with another liger to produce more ligers. Population is a group of the same species living in an area. No two individuals are exactly the same because there are variations. And the more fit an individual is, they're more likely to survive and pass on their traits by passing on their genes. Speciation is the formation of new species. One species may split into 2 or more species. A species can evolve into a new species, and this requires a very long period of time. So again, population, speciation, and natural selection is something that we will talk later on in more detail. Definitions that you should know is that species naming is called binomial nomenclature. Bi means two, nom means name. So in a scientific name, it consists of 2 parts. The first part is the genus, and the second part is the species. So for example, Homo sapien is the species name of modern humans. So Homo is the genus, and then species is a specific epithet. When you type this, it's always italicized, but when you are handwriting it, please underline. And the first word is always the first letter of the genus is always uppercase or capitalized. And you can see the examples below. So that wraps up our notes for classification. Please write these notes on page 20 of your interactive biology notebook.